Hello, everyone. And macroeconomic indicators all favor Bitcoin right now. Yes, I know yesterday's labor report did not favor Bitcoin that much. It wasn't a bad labor report. The problem is it was too good. And the labor market remains strong, which means people think that the US is not going to cut interest rates. The US economy actually needs to be kind of weak for Jerome Powell to even consider cutting interest rates. And the fact that it's strong means we're probably not going to get a rate cut until August or September. But the thing is, the rest of the world is cutting interest rates. Canada and many of the other G7 countries, including the European Central Bank, all decreased interest rates by 25 percentage points. Now, the thing with America is the American economy, out of all the first world countries, is doing way better than everyone else. America is doing much better than China, Russia, Europe, or any of those other countries. So Powell doesn't see the need to cut interest rates, but the other central banks do see the need to cut interest rates, and they are cutting them, which means there's going to be more investment money into crypto from other countries. Unfortunately, the world's economy just follows the United States example, so that might not help us as much. But there will be little boosts from other countries as interest rates come down, and that's very easy to see why. Interest rates affect bond rates, and if bond rates are high, crypto comparatively looks less attractive. Many people will rather have a 5% ROI with no risk on a bond rather than, a much higher ROI betting everything on crypto, because you could lose a lot of money. With bonds, you're really not going to lose any money. It's basically a solid 5% gain if you have like a 10-year 5% bond. Whereas with crypto, like with any smaller coin, it can go like to zero overnight. So there's a lot of risk in that. So people are not willing to do that as much. The CPI is coming in, and that could be a trigger for a new all-time high next week. I believe it's Monday to Tuesday next week, so we'll see what happens. Now, we're looking for the CPI to be at or around the estimated rate. I'm not exactly sure what that estimated rate is. I think it's around like 3.4, 3.3 or something like that. So if it's at or below that, we are definitely primed to go up, and we will probably hit an all-time high. And that could be a trigger, because if the CPI is low, that does mean the Fed will cut rates. That is like the one number that the Fed looks at the most. I'm looking at it to be about neutral right now, which is pretty good. That means like inflation is still higher than expected, but it is calming down a little bit faster than expected. So Jerome Powell might actually relent. So the thing is, like, the gas prices have actually not gone up all that much, or like the gas prices have actually come down a little bit since last month at this time. So hopefully that will play into it. And that means the CPI numbers will either be slightly lower than last time or around the same as last time. So as long as prices don't increase too much, I think Powell is closer to getting us those interest rate cuts. So the CPI is going to play a very, very large role in the crypto space. The other macro factor, of course, is the elections. And it affects both parties because neither of them really want to be seen as a super anti-crypto party. Obviously, the GOP is going to be more pro-crypto at this point because they've always been more pro-crypto on policies. And obviously, Donald Trump has done like a complete 180 from his crypto is a scam thing when he was president last time. Now he wants to be the crypto president. And I think that will influence both sides because they realize there is a small voting block in crypto. But more importantly, crypto super PACs have a lot of money to donate to pro-crypto candidates, and both of them want part of that money. And I think this will last even past the election because there's always special elections, midterm elections, and other things. And the crypto PACs are going to donate a lot of money to pro-crypto candidates. I'm not really sure how much they're funneling into John Deaton, because beating Elizabeth Warren would be a great victory for the crypto PAC. So just based on that, we might see more nods on ETF approvals, and we definitely might see more nods on pro-crypto policy, like the safe harbor policy that Hester Pierce has actually proposed. So that macro wind is definitely blowing in crypto's direction. Now, the overall economy is shaping up to be quite good for crypto as well. The economy remains fairly strong, but it is slightly weakening in terms of demand. The consumer demand is still near an all-time high, but the growth isn't quite as crazy as last year. Like we had a lot of growth in consumer demand last year. That's starting to pull back a little bit, which means the economy is softening slightly, which is good for Bitcoin because if the economy keeps growing, that means Jerome Powell is very, very far away from lowering interest rates. But if it's slightly softening a bit, that means he's closer to actually that point where he will lower interest rates. But the thing is, like, inflation is still coming down a little bit. The economy is softening a little bit. And labor numbers, even though they exceeded expectations this time, the unemployment rate actually went to about 4%, which was the highest in about 2 years. Now, that's still really, really low because like the basically full employment is like 3.4, 3.5 or something. So we're like half a percentage point below full employment. A lot of people are just not taking the lower wage jobs because they don't provide a good living, obviously. So unemployment is going up. And that means the economy is getting softer by one measure or another. It's still very, very strong, but just those little cracks will actually get Jerome Powell to reconsider and maybe get those interest rates down. I'm hoping for 2 cuts this year, but 1 cut, it might be all we get. But that 1 cut could definitely trigger a bull run. And I definitely think we'll get a cut like early next year. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.